Hello folks, Scott Grove of GroovyMusicLessons.com here today just for my own benefit and to help others barely. So this is just to go on record just because I like to film everything, so if anybody gets anything out of this, you know, all the more cool. What this is the whole compressor thing again. It's the least understood pedal for guitar players, but it is one of two things I would not go on stage without. I would go on stage without an amp any day of the week, but never without my Boss CS-3 compressor, and never without my just barely tweaked out Morley volume pedals, because they don't make them so that they're smooth. They go from 0 to 0 to 0 to 0 to about 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you have to fix those. Easy fix. I've got a video on there. Just put Scott Grove and put Morley. It'll show you what to do. But there's a few different ways to fix it if you ever need to on the Morley pedals. When you open them up, all there is a couple of LEDs in there, then a photoelectric cell that catches the light on the other end. If you bend both of them down a little bit, keep the back off of your Morley and keep trying it as you bend it, each you know, the light and the photoelectric cell or the collector. You'll eventually get it without even having to bore out the holes like I did on the original demo. So try a little bend on those. You know, you won't break them. If you do, solder them on, but eventually you'll get it so your volume pedal will actually go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I've talked to people in Morley about it, and they're like, well, nobody complains or bitches. You know, if they want to, you know, fix it themselves, they can, but we're not going to. Way to go, guys. Anyway, so the compressors. What I've been looking for, personally, being a country guy, is I don't, you know, the CS-3 is the one compressor I have found that actually has the sustain added to it. Not just compression, but sustain. That's where the noise comes from that everybody always talks about. Then everybody tries to do these modifications to try to get rid of the noise. What that is a built-in amplifier trying to keep the level up. And as your string is starting to die out and die out, die out, it keeps pushing more power to try to make those strings last forever. That's all the noise is. It's expected. But you have to learn to use your volume control in conjunction with it, or you'll have a mess on your hands. But you'll never hear noise from my rig or anybody's rig once you get used to it. It's just a necessary evil that you stand on your left foot all night long while your right foot is always on top of that volume pedal. But I played pedal steel for so long that it just became natural to, you know, play that way. So then when I had to not bring my steels to so many gigs, I had to learn, you know, find ways to play pedal steel licks on the guitar all over the place, which a lot of people do, and you've got my free lessons on those. But the pedal steels didn't even need a compressor. They are just built correctly so that they sustain, you know, like 5 times longer than a guitar does. And that's what I've been explaining to you in other videos. Sustain, sustain, sustain. They should build them like pedal steels are so that they naturally will sustain. That's what they're geared towards. So again, a pedal steel does not vibrate in any way. The body does not vibrate. So a guitar's body, you're not supposed to feel it vibrate. You're not supposed to feel the neck vibrate. That's a bad thing. But anyway, what we're here for today is the compressors. And I've probably got like 8 of these Boss CS3s and about 8 of these Morley volume pedals. And what I've set up down here today, like I said, this is strictly because my rack that I use for live gigging has, okay, and there's just so much here. These are all different controllers for 4 different amps. The only one I would use live would be this one up here for the one Johnson Millennium I'm using. So this is here's for a Johnson Marquee 60. This one over here is for the Johnson Marquee 120, and this here's for the Johnson Millennium 250 watt stack I have over here. So I would just use the one. But anyway, what I do use is one compressor and one volume pedal other than the amplifier. It's the only two outboard things I use. But the compressor, which I use one of, I leave it on all the time, so it's actually screwed into the back of my rack. So when I turn the power of my rack on, the Boss compressor, here you go, is on. And it stays on all night long. I never touch it. Level is at 1 o'clock, tone is at 1 o'clock, the attack is off, and sustain wide open. Okay, and I still want more squash. These pedals offer the most squash, meaning the harder you hit it, the more it takes your volume down and squashes it. Okay, so the whole thing of a compressor, what it was designed to do, is to make your soft notes loud and your loud notes soft. Yes, it takes away your dynamics. So your dynamics, you're like, God, that sucks. Not if you're playing the kind of music I do. Okay? Then I control dynamics with my volume pedal. Okay? Okay, so I just do it all there. Okay, but actually I do it with my right foot. But for this video, okay, so that's one compressor on here. Let me play it without it. Okay, so I'll just use this. Okay, so I just hate the sound of a regular guitar going into an amp. That's just me, okay? Everybody's different. Whatever floats your boat, hey, as long as you can find your sound, that's half the battle. Whatever gets you there. Okay, we don't all agree on everything. But what I'm looking for, and like I said, this is strictly for me, and then I just share it with my friends, and if you pick up anything off this, great. If not, you know, no big deal. Then you just see into my madness. But I have found out what I am going to do with my rig, and that is add one more Boss compressor to the back of my rack and leave two of them on all the time, hooked next to each other. So they will both be on full all the time. And this is just something I was playing with tonight, so I hooked up three of them, which ended up being a little bit too much. I know I could dial it back, but two of them was going to be fine, but I'll let you hear three of them. And they're all set identical, and I'll just let you hear what they do when you run three compressors in. And that's the first thing you always do. You come out of your guitar and you go into the compressor is your first effect. If you're like me, which nobody is, thank God, and you have, you know, a wireless up here, then your tuner and all that, of course that would be first. Okay, so here's my wireless up here. So you go into your wireless, of course, first, out of there, into your tuner, out of there, but your first effect from your guitar would always be your compressor. Okay, and your very last thing, this is subject to people, is always going to be your volume pedal right before it goes to the amp. The only two things that you would run after your volume pedal would be a delay, so that if you are actually playing let me turn on a delay. Let's see. So that it will keep going. So it's all built into my amp. But if you had a pedal in and you shut off your volume pedal, it would shut your delay off too, which is not a good thing. Sometimes you like to end a song, you know, then your volume pedal's off, all the noise is off, but the delay continues. Okay, so a delay could go after that, and also at the very end, which my amps all have in them, are the noise gates. Those would go after a volume, but nothing else. So a delay, and then finally a noise gate. Okay, so if you're wondering about orders, I know a few people have asked me what order to run things in. Okay, so here's the guitar, okay, last time, with no anything on it other than reverb, so no compressors. Except for that damn reverb. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, one compressor, which is what I normally get. Now just listen for the difference in the sound. You'll hear it getting louder. And that's the noise of it trying to get things louder because it's trying to hang on to every last note. So that's the sustainer kicking in. Most compressors are just compressors and they give you that compressed sound. But they will die off at a regular rate just like your normal guitar would. You would hit a note and it would just die. It start going away. Okay, it went away that quick. With a compressor with a sustainer in it, like mine has, it will not go away like that. And then the volume comes in, or all the noise, but you got to be smart enough to use the volume pedal in conjunction with knowing that that noise is always going to be there. So you play your rig. You don't just play your guitar, you have to play the rig, know when the noises are going to come up, when to actually fade it out so it doesn't sound too mechanically processed, and that something's in there and starting to make a bunch of noise. Nobody wants to hear the noise. So you learn to play your rig, you learn to play your effects, you learn to play your volume pedal. Okay, so that is one compressor, so that's the sound I normally get. Okay, so I'm going to add a second one now, this next one in the middle. So this is two of them on the same settings. Full sustain, full, same settings I told you before. Okay, so you can hear that it's actually getting more squash. It's squashing my tone more. Not my tone, but my attack. Okay, it's just... Now without either one of those, it would have been... Now with two of them... So it just goes and goes and goes, but I love that squash. Now here's one of the modified ones that I have millions of that they try to make them quieter. Not a single one of them gets quieter, but you'll see compared to the other red things, whenever they mod them they always put a blue LED in for some reason. But here's with three of them going. And it just ends up too much, but I'm going to add a second paddle to my rig and leave both of them on, and I've just been wanting forever to have somebody build me one that does more squash, but why not just add another Boss CS-3 right there when I've got so many of them. So that's just what I'm going to do. like I said, it affects, this does nothing for any of you guys, but just lets you know that this is the answer to my plight, should any of you others out there be considering the same type of thing for the whole country thing. Especially if I'm doing the bridge pickup tele type of unit here. Okay, and you throw the little flat back delay on there. The compressors work really well. I'm going to go back to 2 compressors now, wide open. Just cool. Just great for the country stuff. Helps a lot in the pedal steel stuff too. So it's just very cool. Just got that sound, the country sound. Compressors together. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I just finally decided to do that since I had nothing else to do today. Okay, so once again, Scott Grove here in my mad world of my little laboratory. No, not the lavatory. I don't know, I haven't never shot a video inside the bathroom yet, but woohoo. Again, the Frankenstein Crook Telebird Telecaster with the sparkly finish on there. Isn't that pretty? Still got some more work to do on it, but it's 100% giggable, and I've been wearing it out, and that's what I got it for. Use it for a player's axe, so it's turning out as good as I hoped it would. So what a great axe. Love it, love it, love it. I have to call Bill Crook and show him a couple of videos of this guitar, show him how these should be done. Okay, anyway, again, like I said, just recording because. So if anybody needs more squash, that's what I'm going to do. So before even the next gig, I'm just going to toss another compressor back there. I might add a third one just because, in case one was to ever give out, but they never have. I've never had one give out in 15 years I've been using these, and even before that I used the CS-2 and the CS-1 and nothing else, because I've tried everything, every possible compressor in the world, and nothing does what this does. Even the Boss rack mount stuff and their multi-effects unit, where they have the compressors on there, they don't, and it still says compression sustainer, but it doesn't do what these do. You're either a fan of them or you hate them. You know, it's the way it is with most people and most instruments. You know, you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like. So that's what I'm going to do for anybody else who has the same plight and they just want some more squash. There's 3 compressors hooked together and what you can get out of it. So I'm just in here playing mad scientist, and it's working. Okay, once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com. I'll go ahead and post this on the website too, just on the off chance that it may actually help somebody. Okay, so that's why I'm usually here, just on the off chance that something maniacal that I do or think or say or whatever may help somebody. Not usually here to hurt somebody, but every now and then I'll throw one, as you know, out there, but a good old zinger. But yeah, compression from hell right there, and that's what I love it. I love it, and I'm so glad that it's not too much. It'll work great when I get everything to volume, you know, to full volume, so I can already tell right now what it's going to do in a live gig. So no surprises are going to hit me when I go live on that sucker. So 2 or 3 back there, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, and leave 2 on. And again, the buffers are there in the compressor, so that'll help, you know, be like a line driver, so I don't lose any high end on anything I do. But everything is a bonus, so it's a beautiful thing. So that's the route I'm going. Talk to you later, and happy experimenting. Go blow some shit up, but have fun doing it. Okay, bye.